Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what lessons are found. Let's hang out. And let's listen to 2 lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out, the podcast where this week, lace on your racing shoes, we're all joining the track team. From the West Coast, I'm Lee Holmes Foster.
And from the East Coast, I'm Ellie Brigida. To those of you who have been with us through this whole journey, thank you as always for listening. If you're a new listener, welcome. We're excited to have you here. Here's what's happening this week. Hey, Let's Hang Out listeners. Do you need a little something new to spice things up a bit? Because we've got you covered.
I'm sure we are all familiar with how the sex toy industry, like everything else, can be a little heteronormative. They were fun, they were great, but they should have been a little more gay.
So, as you know, we're always looking for sex toy companies that are by our community and for our community.
Look at this manta ray looking vibrator. It's so cute.
Lee, are you buying sex toys right now?
Maybe, but I'm having so much fun.
All right, you can use our Eve's Toys discount after we record this ad.
Fine. Eve's Toys was created so that lesbians and genderqueer individuals can feel comfortable and empowered, inspired and encouraged, all in a fun and friendly environment.
At Eve's Toys, you'll find an unrivaled selection of sex toys curated specifically for lesbian couples and queer-identified folks, offered at competitive prices.
And for Let's Hang Out listeners, you'll get 50% off of your purchase when you go to evestoys.com and use promo code TAG50, TAGG50.
And for any of you that buy sex toys regularly, you know that can make a big difference.
So once again, that's promo code TAG50 to get 50% off of your purchase at evestoys.com.
All right, Lee, you can get your sex toys now.
Let's hang out. This week in the Lesdom.
This Week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. And today it's our final episode of
Tears.
5.
Tears on my face.
I know. I would like to reiterate, final episode of season 5. We will be back.
We'll always be back. Y'all should know that by now.
Don't worry. During our hiatus, we've actually decided to keep the feed going by sharing some of our favorite shows. So we'll have some feed drops of other podcast episodes that we think that you might like during our hiatus, which will be only 5 weeks off.
We are coming back so soon. We'll be back on August 15th with season 6. Bigger and better.
We always say bigger and better, and it is. It's always bigger and better.
And it is. We're just going to keep pushing. Plus, August 15th, wow, what a great date, because you know what's happening exactly 1 month after that, on September 15th, is The Flame live in New York.
Cannot wait.
At 54 Below.
You can get your tickets already, so just go online to 54 Below, get your tickets to the show. Also, one of our patrons let us know that it's the same weekend as Buffering live in New York. So if we have any Buffering fans, like, make a full weekend of it. Thursday,
2 birds, 1 trip.
That
Let's
weekend,
do it.
you do a Buffering episode. Like, it's perfect timing.
This is 2 birds, 1 big apple. That's what we're talking here.
Also, actually, tonight, Lee and I are recording our first ever season 6 Patreon bonus episode. So starting next season, we'll be releasing monthly bonus episodes on our Patreon. So if you're not a member yet, you want to join because you're going to get monthly episodes about us talking about whatever the heck we want. We've decided for this first one, we're going to be talking about Kissing Jessica Stein. We want to talk about movies that we don't usually get to talk about on the show, but we still have lots of thoughts on. So it'll be just fun, whatever our lesbian whims take us. It's going to be great.
And you all know they can take us so many places.
So many places. So many places.
So many places. But we had a lot of fun doing the Patreon Q&A episode this past season. And so we just thought, you know what? Listen, we get requests all the time for things that we can't always find a place for in the season schedule. What better way to make sure we cover those things than to do some extra bonus episodes for our patrons, because we love our patrons so much. And we know you want to listen to us scream into our microphones about Kissing Jessica Stein, which we are gearing up to do. So yeah, check that out.
For our patrons, we will be hosting a watch party for Crush. If you haven't watched it yet, come check it out. We're going to be doing it on July 10th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Look at you finally getting the time zone changes
great on
right.
my time zones. We'll be sending the Zoom link out to everyone. It's going to be really fun. We always have
our last one of the season.
So you got to come hang out with us. It's going to be so fun. Also, in the greater Les universe, Dove Cameron has confirmed that Mal was, in fact, in love with Evie, and we just want to say, we told you so.
Yeah, of course. We all knew. We knew.
We knew.
You knew.
Everyone knew.
Everyone knew.
Thanks for the confirmation, Dove.
I mean, listen, I think Dove Cameron is just really kind of, living this energy of like, give the gays everything they want. And personally, I am here for it. Keep it going. Dove Cameron, please and thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing a great job.
Yeah. I'm not going to complain.
Not complaining. Also, want to tell you all about a new documentary called Inside Gateways, which is a new documentary about London's most famous lesbian nightclub. We love a good lesbian space. So I'm excited to see this new documentary, to hear about one of the most famous and oldest nightclubs in London.
I have our last this week item to talk about, which is, listen, I don't know if there are any Only Murders in the Buildings fans here listening. I'm a big fan. We loved season 1. Some of you may know season 2. The first 2 episodes just dropped last week. And I would like to proudly state that it took me, there's like slight spoilers ahead, although I can't imagine this is a spoiler for anybody here, because let's be real, it took me a whole 4 seconds of seeing Cara Delevingne on the screen talking to Mabel for me to say, oh my god, Mabel, dump the boy and please make out with this girl instead. And it took not that much longer in episode 2 for her to do it. So, like, sold. Only Murders in the Building. Make it gay, you cowards, and they actually do. I am here for it. I think episode 3 drops tomorrow from when people are listening to this. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I assume that this is probably a lifelong relationship now.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anything. There's going to be any drama. How could there be drama in this show?
Yeah. But yeah,
any day now. But still, I'm here for it. So
let's not throw that into the universe. But
yes, I should say I'm like, absolutely counting my chickens a little early on episode 2 of the season. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I'm behind it happening regardless of how bad it could go.
That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee. And welcome everyone to episode 22 of season 5, our final episode of the season, and another installment of Lez-ssentials.
I'm so excited. For all of you listening, Lez-ssentials is a recurring segment on the show where we will dive into classic lesbian movies or TV shows.
And as a reminder, we are also writing and recording original songs for all of our Lez-ssentials, so you'll want to stick around to the very end of this episode to hear our song for this movie. It's called W.
So many puns. I'm so excited. And for this Lez-ssentials, we are talking about the recent Hulu hit, Crush.
It
so
was.
excited.
Nobody could be more excited than we are right now. Crush was written by Kirsten King and Casey Rackham. It was directed by Sammy Cohen.
And we have a very exciting surprise for all of you because we have the writers here with us. Welcome, Kirsten and Casey.
Hi, we're so excited to be here.
We are so happy that you're here. Thank you for writing this beautiful, hilarious teen film that we all needed. I'm going to give all of you in the audience, quick bios on Kirsten and Casey, and then we're going to dive in. So Casey Rackham is a screenwriter and the managing editor of BuzzFeed. And Kirsten King is a screenwriter living and working in Los Angeles. She is currently staffed on a half-hour animated comedy called The Hospital, coming to Amazon.
Does that mean you have say in whether The Wilds gets renewed? I'm assuming you're making those decisions now, right?
I mean, if I had say in The Wilds,
That's up to you.
if I had say in The Wilds, there would be no boys in season 2. So look,
Goodbye.
Thank
you.
I have some thoughts. I do not have any say.
Yeah. This is not a Wilds podcast, but it could turn into one.
Yeah, we have a problem. We're not here to talk about The Wilds. We're here to talk about Crush, which was just delightful.
I knew you were going to say delightful. I was going to try to say delightful.
So you should have. Honestly, you should have, because it's like the most accurate thing, and I can't get over it.
It is quite accurate, yes.
For anyone who is not familiar, I'm just going to give us our IMDb synopsis. Just because I love nothing more than to read an IMDb synopsis. The IMDb synopsis for Crush. An aspiring young artist joins her high school track team and later discovers what real love feels like when she finds herself falling for an unexpected teammate.
That's actually a really cute synopsis.
It is cute. No, I just feel like it ignores a lot of the main points of the plot, though. Is that just
the
me?
plot?
I'm pretty sure IMDb is like Wikipedia, though. Anyone can write anything. So I don't know who wrote that.
That's what I was going to ask. I was like, did you write this? Who
that is the synopsis that has gone around everywhere, and I think our producers compiled it together, if I'm remembering correctly, because that's the one that's also was like in the Deadline article.
But it does kind of skip over like the whole plot of the movie, right?
I think
it does.
I think the problem is that we have many plots in the movie.
Well,
I think,
sure.
and so they were like short and sweet. Let's not confuse them with a mystery.
But you know what I think is funny is like you don't have to get to the mystery. I think because here's the thing. Lez-ssentials is one of our segments. We do another segment that we do every other week that's called Should Have Been Gay, and we talk about movies and shows that should have been gay. And we also read the IMDb synopsis for those and then write our own. And so we spend a lot of time reading IMDb synopses. And the thing that cracks me up that this one does, and I always think it's the funniest thing, is when I feel like I always expect the first foray into the synopsis to actually be like the main thing about the movie or the show. And in this one, it's like joins her high school track team. And I'm like, I feel like that's not really like the
we don't
part
really
of the plot.
Care that she joined the track team. Like we care because of
not
the things that happen because of it. Yeah, but I'm not invested. I'm like,
this is not like Cool Running,
like, that
right?
was really what I was caring about.
The high school track edition.
It really does set it up as like a sports movie.
Yes.
Like this is
How dare you
gonna
not
be
want
about
a sports movie?
Look, I want it, but I would say this is not a sports movie. It happens to include sports, but it is not Cool Runnings, indeed.
I feel like the IMDb synopsis could have been like, a young high school student running for his class board, like, has a friend who discovers love. And you're like, that's not really the...
It's all about the straight couple. Like,
Oh my God. That would be funny.
Two people in love compete to win student body president. And you're like, wait, what the hell? This is what this is about? Tim goes to the Renaissance Fair. Like, you don't even like,
we'll watch that.
What are we
I would like that. Or it could be Chantel's movie.
But really when Kirsten and I were like first writing this movie, we were just always like, oh, Tim. Like Tim just shows up. We got a real soft spot for Tim.
We really do.
He is honestly a great character, but it just cracks me up. Yeah, it's like high school principal, like finds love of Renaissance Fair. Like the Renaissance Fair thing got me so hard. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I feel like I would be. I've never been to a Renaissance Fair, but I feel like I would like eat that shit up.
Oh, they
are fun. They are fun.
Yeah.
Like big ass turkey legs, beer, shooting a bow and arrow. It's a good time. I highly recommend going to a Ren fair.
I need
Highly
to
recommend.
go.
Did you ever go to what's the
King Richard's Fair? Which
No,
is
what's the
big,
jousting
huge
one? What's the
Medieval Times.
Medieval
Yes.
Times. Did you ever do
I have
Medieval
not.
Times?
Oh,
at
yeah.
Liz?
I have
Yeah.
not.
Oh yeah.
That's like you don't get to do a lot of the fun like do it yourself stuff, but you get at least the fun like, I've got like a giant
My
like
mead.
pitcher sized
And you have a crown.
Yeah, like
I just want a crown.
Yeah.
it's a good time.
Yeah.
You go when you're a kid and like, yeah, your turkey leg is like the size of your torso and you're like, this is fun.
Yeah, I can barely eat chicken wings, so like I can't use turkey leg.
Then you would not like the turkey leg. You would not like it.
I just it's just too messy for me, but it's okay. It's okay. So we already said we were going to try to do a short synopsis, and we're derailed.
We're
and I'm
doing
so
a great
happy.
job. We're doing so
So-
well. We're so on topic.
Let's dive in though, since we're talking about the IMDb synopsis. So I'd say Kirsten and Casey each give us what you would actually have the IMDb synopsis be for.
Oh yeah,
this
we're gonna make you
film.
work while you're here.
Oof.
Yeah, rewrite the synopsis. Let's submit it to IMDb.
Oh my God. Our whole, if you were to like search our text, it would just be like, hey, wait, what's our log line again? It's
Yeah,
me
so you're gonna
searching
get a little
log
bit of
line
that
in our
live.
text. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yep. Sounds right.
I feel like it would be an introverted artist steps out of her shell to pursue her crush, and oh man, there are
It's
so
hard.
many
Okay, you
thoughts.
guys,
Like she also gets framed.
I searched logline into my computer. It popped up right away. I titled it Logline because I've written nothing else, just this movie with Kirsten. Okay.
Perfect.
After being wrongly accused of vandalizing her high school, 16-year-old Paige Evans accepts her sentence. Join in extracurriculars so the principal can keep an eye on her. While searching for the real culprit, Paige joins the team in... See, we didn't even have track in it yet. This was we were just going for it. Paige joins the track team in the hopes of getting noticed by her longtime crush, Gabriella Campos. But when Gabriella's fraternal twin sister, AJ, agrees to help train Paige, Paige realizes teen love might be even more complicated than she thought. However, that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful.
But
to be fair, that's
good.
the story.
That is the
That
story.
is accurate. That is accurate. So let's talk about what actually happens in this movie. Leah, are you going to try to run us through a quick synopsis, and then
I'm
we can
gonna
dive in?
I'm
and
gonna
talk a
do
little
my
bit more?
best. Wish me luck. I make no promises.
Good luck.
I apologize for
I'm
nothing.
setting
that's
my
about to
timer
happen.
right now.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna say for anyone who hasn't had a chance to watch the movie yet. Stop whatever you're doing,
Watch it.
pause this, just go watch it. It's gonna be better than the job I'm gonna do. But let's start at the top. We meet Paige, right? Paige is an artist. She's got a cool mom who gives her dental dams. She's got a best friend of questionable
And
sexuality. Vibrators. Best friend of questionable sexuality who ostensibly is straight, but I don't buy it for a minute.
Yeah.
She has a crush, a big old gay crush on Gabriella Campos. God, I'm trying so hard to keep my comments to myself. This is so difficult. I have so many already. Okay. She has a big old crush
Just keep
on
going,
Gabriella
we got this.
Campos. And also someone's vandalizing their school and they decide it must be Paige. And instead, she's like, I'll join the track team because I don't know why you need track people. And also, my crush is on the track team. Hooray! Everything's gonna work out. So then she goes out for the track team. She is predictably terrible at it and gets set up to be trained by her crush's twin sister, AJ.
Classic
who-
twist.
Yeah, just the twist we have had in so many movies.
Yeah,
where
but they
you're-
usually do it with the straight people, right? Where it's
Yeah,
I
I know.
got
Your
matched up with
gay
the sister,
crushes,
but I love the
gay
brother. And you're
sister.
like, no, you don't.
just as
Sorry,
we've
sorry.
seen a million times before. Okay,
keep
gets
going.
set up with AJ to train, and then also enlists AJ's help to hunt down who the real King Pun who's vandalizing the school is. And then lots of other stuff happens, but obviously they have, their little budding romance or each other. And what else happens? I'm trying to think of what are the highlights.
right, well, I think
they ride a
some of the other
skateboard together.
highlights-
It's cute as
Yeah,
shit.
that is the highlight. Then
that's a
also
highlight.
Paige
She-
kisses Gabriella.
Paige kisses Gabriella at a stakeout. It is awkward and bad in every way imaginable.
Yeah.
She keeps her eyes fully open. We just have to say her eyes are
so
fully
bad.
open.
It's
Like,
so
so bad.
It's so bad. It's like it like cringe. You're cringing watching it. It's terrible. So that's bad. And then she's like, "What's happening? Maybe I have a thing for AJ. I don't know." And then they go to like an away meet because of course you do, and everyone's playing like 7 Minutes in Heaven in the bathroom with their bisexual lighting, just like we all did in high school. And she and AJ are in the bathroom together, and she's in a bathtub, and she's like, "Wouldn't it be so crazy if we kissed right now?" And like then of course they do kiss, and then they're like lying awkwardly in bed together, being like, "That was totally normal, and we know how to handle this and our feelings." That's bad. Gabriella tries to kiss her again in the hallway. That's even worse. Then they go to the track meet, and she's like, "Nobody tell AJ." But then of course Gabriella tells AJ, and
Hearing
everything's
it said like this, I'm like, this is a gay mess.
It's
Like,
a gay
this is
mess.
just
It's a gay mess.
for the ages.
Yeah, this sounds
That's
like my
sort of
gay
the point.
kickball league, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right?
yes,
like, I feel
yes.
like it's the point of it, right? Like,
So
this is why it's so accurate. Like, this is why I think people resonate with it. Like, it is messy.
AJ does find out, gets real upset, is like shutting it down. I'm not being anyone's second choice. And then Paige draws her a big mural, and then they kiss in front of the school, and it's cute as shit. I covered most of the
That
big
was
things,
honestly
right?
the best fast synopsis you've ever done. I was really
That
was
impressed
great.
by that.
Thanks, Ellie.
You did a really good job, and it was really funny watching Ellie watch you. It was like hands over mouth, just like in
I was like,
earnest.
please,
being
you can
like,
do
she
this.
can do it.
She's just so impressed that I did it, you know? Listen.
I
Okay,
feel like
now the
I'm
thoughts
like-
are just
I'm
going to
like-
come spilling out of me.
Yeah. I'm like AJ at the track tryouts in your page. Where I'm like, please, you can do this. But you can't.
But
But you did. Yeah, you
can't.
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff in between, but that's why we're here to discuss the other stuff in between.
Okay.
But that was good.
Where do you want to start, Ellie? Because I know
All right, so
we have so much.
I feel
There's
like
so much to
okay,
talk
so
about.
I actually really want to start before the movie was even made because we have Kirsten and Casey here, and I would love to hear more about like how you got this movie made, right? Like, how did you come up with the idea to write it? Let's start there.
Yeah, so Casey and I used to be in a queer writing group together, and we always sharing writing all the time. We kind of got a sense that we have like similar senses of humor, and we like a lot of the same things, a lot of the same types of movies. 10 Things I Hate About You, like Clueless, all those classic early 2000s rom-coms. And To All the Boys I'd Loved Before just came out, and we both watched it and just couldn't stop saying how cute it was and wanting to rewatch it and like squealing and just being so happy. And it got, the conversation then, evolved to, why don't queer people have this? Like, why is everything centered around coming out? Why can't we just have like some cute shit in high school that would have helped us come out earlier? So we drank some martinis. And we
Step
started,
one,
we
if you're
got, like, a
taking
big-
notes, martini.
Yeah.
If you want
We
to
got
write
a big
queer rom-com.
whiteboard. Yeah. And we just started outlining it. And then, as Casey says, the next day we looked at the whiteboard and we're like, this doesn't make a ton of sense, but there's something here. Like, the feeling is there. And we really started, writing from that day. And it was about 4 years ago at this point, Casey.
So you started writing 4 years ago, which is crazy.
Yeah. And as we've been told, because this is our first movie, we've been told that that's actually extremely quick. So
Fast,
we're like 4
yeah.
years.
Wow.
That's forever. And it does feel
That's
like forever.
college. Yeah.
Yeah. Our baby went when our baby
Our baby went to college.
skipped every other age group and just went to college.
Yeah. So 4 years ago, you wrote the first draft, and then it like just kept making steps from there.
Yeah, we sent it to our agent and manager, and then from there, they sent it to Animal Pictures, which is Natasha Lyonne and Maya Rudolph's company, as well as Depth of Field, who produced The Farewell. And they both wanted to do it, which was so exciting and surreal. And Casey and I were just pouring sweat in her car before
Yeah, we've
meeting
got a photo of
Natasha
it.
Lyonne.
Yeah, before we were meeting.
Yeah, I'm
Natasha.
like, we need to talk about that. Just what was the meeting with Natasha Lyonne like?
Exactly
was
what
that
you
like?
think it would be like. I feel like you don't even want to say more. Like, assume what's in your head, and it's correct.
And then that's
I
it.
mean, but she's so amazing, so smart. Casey and I did do a very funny thing during this meeting, which so there was one couch that was like left for us to sit on. It was a very big couch, but we didn't know who else was joining for the meeting. So Casey and I sat like this close to each other. And then for me to make more room, I put my arm around her, and we looked like a couple.
We did.
Yeah.
They did. There was a
no-
point where I think it was like Natasha or one of our producers, Danielle, was like, "So how long have
do
you?"
you
And we're
guys-
just like, "No."
Just, I was like, what are you talking about? this
is
is
how we
just my
sit.
arm fully draped around Casey.
Oh my god.
But no one came and sat on the other side of the couch, so we just proceeded to pitch the movie and kind of share our vision.
Did you ever slide farther apart on the couch, or just like fully
no,
in
we
the
commit
lap?
to the bit.
In the lap
committed
pitching
to
the
it.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I feel like I blacked out during that meeting.
And we had like so many more meetings after that, just with our whole team, and we probably sat the exact same way. We were like, if this is what it does to sell this
For good
movie,
luck. Yeah,
we're
for good
together.
luck. Yeah. If you want us to be, we'll be
Whatever.
You're like, we're
we'll
sending
get
out
married.
Christmas
We'll
cards
get it annulled
together.
after, like, we're
I don't know
gonna
what
be
people
married.
I mean, we took all of our photos on the red carpet together.
Nice,
Like,
nice.
we can play into this narrative. So they signed on from there, and then Depth of Field signed on. They had some rounds of notes, and then from there we took it out to sell it. Casey, I don't know how much we can say
It
about
was
this
originally at
process.
Netflix. We found the perfect home with Hulu. But yeah, we teamed up with American High, and I don't know if you guys know about American High, but it is this production company. They bought a high school in Syracuse, and they've now made 12 films, like all high school films at this school, and just like
Oh, wow.
the whole production company, everyone who works for them, it was just like, it was a dream come true. They're telling amazing stories right now.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
awesome.
really
Yeah.
cool because they're like two like dudes, and they just like want to make more inclusive stories, and they're giving the actual like keys to the castle to do that to people that wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity. So big fans of Jeremy Gerlich and Will Phelps, who are our producers on this, and all the people at American High, because it's like they could make 7 American Pies, but they like chose to make a super queer film.
They did put a nod to American Pie in our movie. The pie that they're eating, it does say Mrs. Stifler's Bakery on it.
And
Does
also,
it
I
really?
guess,
Oh my God.
and Depth of Field, they
Depth of
did
Field did
produce
American
American
Pie.
Pie.
So it was a really good
no shade
reference,
to American
Kirsten.
Pie, but I'm like, no shade. It's just not this movie.
No, but like, I don't know if you guys have watched like Plan B, which that like really great casting there. And then they, I forget what the movie's called, Kirsten, but they have a movie coming out that like is definitely about like body positivity, neutrality,
Empire Waste
Film. Yeah, and it's just like, they are like making good movies over there.
That's
Very cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
That is so exciting.
we did that. We got Sammy Cohen, absolutely amazing. I think, this is towards the end of our journey, but when Kirsten and I saw the first cut of the movie, like everyone prepares you, like it's the director's cut. There's going to be 12 more edits after that. And we were like, no, Sammy did like a perfect job. Truly,
She did
there
a
were
really good
minimal
job.
notes, and it just like, she had a really great vision that went with it. And it was great being on set with them too.
Yeah, and like the casting process was cool. We weren't like Casey and I obviously weren't involved in like the actual casting, but we got information as it came in, and we got to watch like Ali's and Rowan's chemistry
Which was
read,
the
and also
bathtub.
hear. Yeah, it was them
nice.
reading
Yeah.
the bathtub scene, and just so cute.
My mom cried. My mom watched the chemistry read, and she bawled.
Yeah. And also like Ali wanted to be AJ, which was really interesting because Sammy in that first meeting thought she might be going out for Paige because it's the lead role and she's, was Moana, but she really resonated with AJ and dyed her hair blue and got a septum piercing and learned
my
how to
God.
skateboard and leaned into being a little bi icon, and that was
Amazing.
really cute and
She
exciting.
killed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she is very, very good in the role.
Oh, she really
She's
is.
so
I'm like
charming.
watching her and I was
So
just like,
good.
it's in her eyes too. I'm like, oh yeah, you are like the exact type. Like, no, okay, she doesn't own a leather jacket, but she does look like she could.
But like she would.
and that's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the essence.
And we did a call with with Crush fans, and she was wearing a leather jacket for it, and I was just like, "You're really
Stop.
like coming full circle here."
Stop.
Like, very
Well,
cute.
Okay, can I bounce off of that, because I love that. Love that journey for Ali. But also because the comments that I was most trying to keep to myself while doing my synopsis right off the bat is that I feel like one of the things I love about this movie is the second that you hear the names Gabriela Campos and AJ Campos, I'm like, why do those tell you everything you need to know about those two
About their
people?
personalities.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I just, and it's funny because, like, the Campos work so differently in each of them, right? And, like, and they're so, I think one of the things I love about it is, I mean, yes, we're going to talk about, like, a movie that has this many queer characters and the types of queer rep that you get to include when you do that, when you do have so many characters like that. But there's just something that I love about, like, this idea of, like, two sisters who are both queer and, like, so very different from each other in, like, such specific ways that I feel like for queer people, we're just like, oh yeah, that gay, sure. You're a Gabriela Campos gay, I see. Like, of course you are.
Should we talk about that? Let's talk about like that one scene in the hallway where we're like
gosh,
introduced
yes.
to all the queers.
All the queer characters.
Yeah. You
I
go
died.
for it because that's
I
your
died.
scene. Walk us through that scene.
Oh man, that was so fun. Casey and I were on set for that day, and Addie, who plays Chantel, who's the Wiccan lesbian, so
best.
funny. And we also did a little bit of a rewrite for Chantel because we were like, we don't want to get cursed
That
by
was like a
making fun of this
genuine
witch.
conversation Kirsten and I had. We were like, we're going to be respectful to witches because we genuinely want to be. And we're
Yeah.
scared. Everyone should be.
Yeah,
You're like
I'm scared.
you're like everyone knows a queer witch. Like let's be
Yes.
real.
Literally.
Yeah.
No,
Everyone
we had
has one
Felicia
in their
on
friend
set.
group.
She
Like,
did
it's
hair.
okay.
Felicia on set
Yeah.
did hair. She taught
Wiccan.
She taught Addie a
She
lot about being a witch.
Yeah.
We heard about her spells, and I don't want to be on her
Yep.
wrong side.
No, I don't either. And I've been to little lesbian seances out here in LA. Like I don't need to piss anyone off there. So Addie was so funny, and like obviously like her character gets that really fun wrap up arc where we like find out that her spell put AJ and Paige together, and she just had so much fun with that. Addie is such a great comedian. And then I'm like, who else? As we're walking,
Yeah,
through
well,
the
then we
hall
got
3C.
Aaron Billings next, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, horse gay.
The horse gay.
Man, that
which we all
hair
know.
flip,
gay.
there was one point, I mean, they did, all the actors, they did like a bunch of different takes and stuff. And I think Catherine, who plays her at one point, like did like a whinny or a neigh. And it was just like, I think that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part of being on set is that you can't laugh at all these funny people.
Yeah,
like you're
it
like
was
I
very
can't have this
difficult.
laugh be in the take.
Exactly. You must be silent, and it's so tough. Because I'm sorry, I think like one of the, it was the second day we did it. We literally, I'm sorry, I'm like laughing so much because it's out of control. But it's when Dylan and Stacy are first in the hallway, and literally the first take, she chokes him. That's the first take. And Kirsten and
That's not in the script.
I remember that's not in the script.
Oh my
Kirsten
God.
and I grabbed each other's thighs. Like when you have to like grip into someone to like stop from laughing, because we were like, this is amazing. It's unhinged.
Amazing.
We scripted one kiss into everything for them, and it happens at the end. Like they have a sexual tension and a banter, but like all that making out, mounting, like that was
That's insane.
It
That's
was a
what
lot.
a commitment to that decision, right?
Yeah. And I do think like Tila felt very safe with Tyler because he's a gay man, so it was like you can kind of have fun with it, and you're not like crossing any real boundaries there. I mean, you could be, but like they felt comfortable with each other and had a great relationship, so they could play together in that way in the scenes. But man, the first, like, coming in hot with choking him, and then in the bedroom scene where Paige walks in on them watching AOC.
That wrecked me. It's like, they were.
But they were pitching, they were like, so should I, like, Tila was like, should I be pegging him in this scene? Like, should I be pegging him? And we were like,
honestly, we were all robbed, I think, is what we just learned.
I think it is so funny.
But I feel like that's headcanon now. Yes. It's like, okay, now we all know what was happening in that scene.
Oh, 100%. We know who's the bottom in that relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was like so funny, like seeing like some comments that were like, why did we only get 2 kisses with the stars of this movie, and meanwhile in the background,
and so much
Tila and Tyler are just like fucking going for it.
Yeah.
We're like, yes, straight representation.
Yeah.
We didn't write it, but it happened.
That's incredible.
And then so the hallway scene, the next one is Aaron Billings, our horse gay. We originally had a Disney gay in there that got cut, which would have been fun.
For like copyright reasons or what? Like,
no,
for
it was literally a time
purposes
thing.
or
Casting.
Yeah.
But can I tell you what I love about Aaron? Because this is probably like a very niche thing, but like, so I went to Mount Holyoke.
Are you a horse gay?
Yeah, did you go to a
yeah. This is I wanted everyone to know finally about me. No, I went to Mount Holyoke College, which, like, if anyone doesn't know, they have like a big equestrian center and equestrian team, and also a ton of gays.
And it's also one of the gayest colleges in the
it's
world.
like a very gay school. And so, like, I did actually go to college with like a number of horse gays. And it's just not representation you see a lot. So, like, I am happy for them and for all of us.
Do you think like the horse gays have been waiting this whole time?
I really think,
moment?
yeah, I think that you know, this is a big deal. That's all I'm saying.
I'll tell you,
the next movie that Hulu pitches is going to be like a love story between 2 horse gays.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the community that we truly represented accurately. Man, so Kirsten and I were just sending each other like TikToks of like montages and stuff like that. And someone had posted the one of when Chantal like says what she's like drawing about, and she says like the brothers from Supernatural 69 it.
Yes.
And it was so funny because
Someone sent you those pictures.
That was a divisive joke
it was
people. That was
really
a very
divisive, but I was like,
joke.
no, we need it in there. And thank God Sammy was like, yes. But it was just like what was so good in the comment section was like,
I'm sorry, we needed it.
We did need it. It was pivotal
So
to the
important
plot
to
of
the plot.
When you say divisive, I'm assuming you mean like at the like production level, not like from the community level.
No,
or all of the above.
No, I just
All-
I feel
Seriously?
like Supernatural fans
Yes.
are intense.
That's what all the comments were. But what was happening
Yeah.
was in the comments was one person was like, I can't believe they wrote this or something like this. And then someone else was like, yeah, but it's kind of true. And I'm like, yes,
someone
it's
else
called
is literally
Wincest.
just dropping like photo after photo of it.
Yes.
Oh, that was a divisive
but yes.
joke, though, where a lot of people
Were like,
had
wow.
feelings about it.
But yes, after Aaron Billings is Aya, played by Jess Tom. Truly
Super
wonderful.
hilarious.
we
comedian,
love.
yeah.
Yeah, we actually had Jess on an episode
yes.
before.
Oh,
We
They're
did a live
awesome.
show with
They're
Jess,
so
and
funny.
as soon
They're
as they
so
spoke,
funny.
I was like, "Oh, Jess Tom is in this? I didn't know that." And they was
They
just
are
so
so
instantly
funny.
recognizable. I was like, amazing.
I like seeing them
And they
in their
were so-
costume
sorry.
immediately, the wardrobe, and we were like, oh yes, non-binary Harry Styles was the vibe
Yeah.
that outfit
Yeah.
was giving.
Yes.
And I think they got to keep those
Really?
pants that looked
Good-
so amazing
good
on
for
them,
Jess.
because they had a whole Harry Styles vibe going on. Also, it's very funny because Jess would like talk to us between takes and was like, "So I think Aya is obviously polyamorous," and we were like, "Yeah, sure, yeah," like, and kind of built out their whole narrative for Aya. So a lot of behind the scenes character work being done there.
Definitely. I
Incredible.
feel
I
like
think that was like why Aya and Gabriella broke up.
it was because
I
Polly,
mean-
no, Gabriella, I believe, is
Aya's definitely a
monogamous,
flirt.
but.
Yeah. Aya's a
But I
flirt,
think
for
out of
sure.
everything, like, yeah, there could be like 1,000 spin-offs from this movie, but it's that hallway scene. I want to see that school, you know, like everyone in
Yes.
because you know
Yes,
there's more
I want a
queers.
show.
That was just one
That's
hallway.
what I want.
Well, and there's the gateway gay too. I forget their name.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was Amy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Amy is the gateway gay, which I think most of us also know a gay
Understand.
Oh,
probably
God, yes.
walked through
Ben
that
one.
gate maybe yourself. So definitely had to get that representation in there.
I just don't think that, like, I don't know if we ever imagined our first movie would include like a close up of short nails.
fingernails.
As the fingers. Yes.
And we originally imagined like Amy a little bit more femme with long acrylics and short fingers, and then we, met the actor who's playing it. Like at first they were like, should we put long acrylics?
We're
And
like,
we're like, no, this is a sporty
No.
gay person.
Yeah.
Like we're
Yeah.
not. But still the close up with the little like ding and
Ding.
then the
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, one of the things that like I feel like this is just like we can talk about in general is just like how actively gay this film is.
Oh God.
Right?
Yeah.
Like like you're not there the opposite. Like I feel like there have been gay films in the past that are like, we're gay, but like we're palatable to straight people and like we're gonna like be sort of like iffy about our gayness. And this is just like from the second you see it, it's like literally Paige is like, so I came out to my mom, I came out to my best friend, like here's all the queer people in my school, here's all the gay people I love, here's all the gay jokes I'm gonna make. Like there are so many like specifically gay things. What are your favorite specifically gay things about the film? You know what I mean?
It's also just like, it's not even just I came out to my mom, I came out to my friend. It's like my happiest memories are coming out
Yeah.
to my mom and coming out to my best
Which is
friend.
also so nice because we get so many tragic coming out
Yes.
things. So it's like just to have that be like the bookend of it of like, hey, it actually was like a really amazing moment for me.
Yeah.
Like the height of my life rather than like this was the worst experience ever.
Yeah, it's
so
also
nice.
positive, and it fits right in with my current theory of like name a straight person under age 18. They don't exist anymore.
That's
It is
completely fair.
rumors and hearsay. No one in high school is straight anymore. Like it just, it's like that's accurate. That's realistic for them to be like, oh my God, there are literally so many gay people you could hook up with other than like this person you've had a crush on for
Absolutely.
forever. Like there's that gay and that gay and that gay and that gay and this gay and that gay and that gay over there and like that gay's on a
yeah, like,
horse.
rather-
What is
yeah.
this? Like I don't know. It's just-
But then isn't it fucking hilarious when then all of a sudden we turn and they bring up AJ and Paige is like, is she even gay? And everyone online is like, the beanie
Yeah.
Paige.
She is in the gayest outfit possible on that first day, and Casey and I were behind the scenes laughing at that line
Yeah.
and how it
Yes.
was playing because
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
just like, yeah,
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah, we're like,
Right.
Paige is
Obviously
coming off
she's
as a
not
real
straight.
dum-dum right now. Like, you know what?
well, here's the thing is, again, like love this journey for Ellie and this role and like committing, because the thing is like you see so many people like who just can't, it's not convincing on screen, where I'm like, listen, like you could dress someone in that outfit and have it not be that gay. Honestly, like it's not just the beanie, it's the beanie and everything going on
under it.
right there.
And I think that's like the argument for casting queer people in queer roles, because like when you actually have that life experience and you have that, genuine attraction to someone, there's inherent chemistry, and they had great chemistry. They had such good chemistry. And I think that comes from like their lived experiences and us casting queer people in those roles, which was, that was one of the things that Casey and I up front to producers were like, we want queer people in the queer roles. And they were like, well, it might. And we were like, no, we want
No.
queer people in the queer roles. Like we can do that. That is possible.
Yeah.
We are casting
They
teams.
exist.
Everybody is gay.
Yes.
Like,
They're
we
out
can do
there.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that, and then it's like Sammy being queer, like our director who's at the helm of this, because I think I'm not positive that Kirsten and I wrote that Paige on that first day is wearing a carabiner, but I think that was like,
We did. We added in. I checked the
oh,
script.
we did add that. Okay,
We did
Well,
write
good
that.
for us then. I thought it was
Yeah.
Sammy, and I was just like, but it is weird because someone had commented, like, whoever wrote or directed this is actually queer. And I'm like, you're correct. Like, it's those little things that are just like, and like Sammy, whatever she had to approve along the way. I'm sure there was a lot of things that were like, no, let's do this instead of that. I mean, come on. I love how many striped shirts are in this movie.
Yes.
So many.
Yes.
I have stripes on my shirt right now. Like, I'm a striped gay. I would usually even have more stripes than this.
The production designer is a queer woman too, Tracy Dishman. And in the background of Paige's room, there are so many little details on top of the shelf of sex toys. Like, there's so many little details in the background that also, like, make her feel like an actual queer person. So I think that just the number of queer people that were actually involved in this film is what makes it feel authentic, on top of the chemistry and the leads actually being
What
queer.
are some of those details? I'm like,
oh man, I mean, there's
did you notice them, Lee?
I didn't, but I literally want to like get the scene up now and find them. Because,
screenshot it, yeah.
Seriously, because the thing is it's like so Ellie and I just did an episode recently on. Well, the episode was on like why queer people love like to conspiracy theory about like who's gay. But one of the things that we were talking about in terms of like why we do love that is because queer community has like such a shared language and like just these tiny little nuances and experiences and things that like you pick up on, that like when you watch a movie like this, that like that is why when you watch this movie as a queer person, you're like, oh, it's for us, y'all. It's that's happening. Like, it's all there, right? Because it just feels right. Like, it's done correctly, and you're like, yeah, that's the stuff I'm looking for. Like, that's what it is. The close up on the nails with a ding, the like a beaner on your first day of school. Like, yeah, that's what we need.
That's the only straight thing about me jokes. Like, come on.
But I think it's like,
God.
honestly, that means a lot that you're saying that, like, to me and Kirsten, because I think that also is really big on our shoulders. We're only two queer people. We do not speak for this whole giant community. So the fact that you like felt like it resonated with you, I think is just like super important, because that was always on top of mind of like, how do we do the queer community justice,
Totally. And Casey says, you can tell them your Fast and Furious bit, because I
no,
think
you
that,
tell it because
like,
you love it so much.
I love it so much. She said it once, and I feel like it's so true, because as queer people, we do have to answer to the queer community. We have to answer to straight people trying to understand like where this film fits into the canon of representation. There's all these like, and we're happy to do that, but also it does feel like a lot of responsibility. And so Casey, during an interview, was like, the people who made the Fast and Furious movies don't have to answer to the car community. Like, they can just like live their lives. And like,
do they?
I mean, maybe
you don't
they
know.
do a little bit.
But no, I stand by it. They're just like everyone, and no one's making digs at them.
Yeah.
Yep. We are a very critical community. It's tough. It is tough. Yeah.
And then beyond that, making something specifically for queer women when things that are made for teen girls are constantly just like put under a microscope and made fun of and
or not taken
apart.
seriously. Oh, it's a rom-com. Oh, it's a chick flick. And it's like, oh, are our stories not important?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, this is a rom-com, and it is centering joy, and it is following like that classic rom-com trope, just as action movies follow the classic action tropes and arcs, but it's just viewed differently, especially by straight critics. And that was, I think, something in the beginning that Casey and I had a really hard time with. And then we looked at the Rotten Tomatoes for 10 Things I Hate About You, and it's like 70%. And
Yeah,
like,
if you're like any other teen girl
fine.
movie, they're like rated low too. But it was so upsetting, because it was just like someone would say like, oh, it's predictable. And I'm like, every straight rom-com you've ever seen, by just looking at the posters, you know who ends up together.
To be predictable.
It's predictable.
Not to drag anyone specific through the mud, but like, is this about the Variety article? Because like, I've got beef with them, and let's get into it.
I want to hear that one, because no, mine is against.
Listen.
Casey has a very specific beef that.
Okay, well, my beef, because I have beef with them right now anyways because of their fucking First Kill article, and I'm just like, who at Variety hates gays? Like, literally, what is this? Cut it out.
Yeah.
I'm over.
I was just about to say, I was like, I feel like the only other recent thing I've seen that's like almost as queer as Crush is First Kill.
Yes, and they've panned
And it is-
both of them, and I'm like, literally...
It's
Like, what
perfectly
is
dumb.
this?
Like, that's the point of
Yes.
it. Like,
It's
it's
exactly
literally
what it's supposed
it's
to be.
fucking Gossip Girl, but
Yeah.
with lesbians. It's fucking Twilight. Like, come on, it's not. You don't have to be so serious about it.
You don't. Kirsten
No.
was like, wait, why did the straights get Riverdale? You know, it was just like,
Yes.
come on.
Yes.
Like, literally, like
Yes.
Riverdale's makes no fucking sense.
Like, there's a
It's stupid
cheerleading
show.
scene in Riverdale outside a jail, okay? There's a cheerleading scene outside a jail in Riverdale, and that show has how many seasons?
So many.
So many seasons. And I think First Kill did exactly what it set out to do. And, like,
Yes.
I think that we feel our film did what we set out to do.
Because it does. Because it does. And it's just, the thing is like, listen, Variety, I assume everyone there's listening to this right now. I'm talking directly to you,
They're gonna fire
Variety,
all of their writers
the
for this,
entity. Variety, the company, I'm speaking to you. No, it's so frustrating when you watch people. I guess I don't know how to like put it into words where I'm like, just let us fucking have things. Just
Yeah.
let us have it. Let us have the dumb teenage rom-com that we never get to have. And especially because when you do get to have it, like so many times up until now, it's like you get it and you're like, it was written by straight people and like mostly marketed to a straight audience. And like, so sure, I can live with the like, I have feelings for a girl. What will my parents think? My friends, will they
Right.
still like me?
Right.
Like, okay, fine. Like, yes, we can do that if it means we're going to get like that's the best that we can do. Sure. We've done it. We all know it. I'm not going to like complain about any representation at this point because none of us will, but like, Jesus Christ, just let us have it. And it's like, and they were calling out so many things that are so formulaic. And I'm like, are you going to write this review for 10 Things I Hate About You? Are you going to write this review for She's All That? Like, no, dude, just let us have our stupid fun. Why?
Yeah, but they did write those. Like, those movies got reviewed terribly as well. Like, rom-coms specifically always get reviewed terribly. So a queer rom-com, I don't think we were quite ready for it, and I don't think reviewers understand how dangerous it is to like not let us have like joyful stories.
It's so annoying.
Like, there's so much anti-LGBTQ legislation happening every day. So like, let us have a fucking sliver of joy.
It is, and I think like one of my issues was like at some point it's like not about the content of the critique or the reviews. It was the fact that a lot of straight people were the ones doing these reviews, and I was just like, yes, this movie should be for everyone, but no, it's for queer women.
It's not.
Like,
yeah.
And so that I think like that's like upsetting because it's just like, you don't get it. Is that like so pretentious to say like you don't get it? But it's like it's true.
But like obviously they don't.
Yeah.
Like clearly they don't. Like that's not who you're writing it for. So
Right.
like also who cares if they don't like it because you didn't want them to like it.
I mean, and like and the reverse of that is like the number of fan edits we got, the number of like people in our DMs saying it helped them come out,
Yeah.
the number of people streaming it illegally from various countries and loving it. We're like,
Right.
okay,
Like,
people are
listen,
having
there's
fun time.
there's a time and a place and an audience for Ammonite. There's a time and a place and an audience for these movies. Like, Jesus.
Totally. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh god, somebody ripped me apart for like shitting on Ammonite. We got it.
Well,
we got,
and
like,
people
a
gave
super
what's the other,
angry
what's the
email
one where
about it. I was
what's
like,
the one
come
where
on.
she gets murdered at the end? What's the other one that like someone gave us a hard time
oh
about that?
god, yes, the one where I could not stand it. Oh my god.
I know that that's not enough to really narrow
I'm
it
like,
down.
which one they all get
Which
killed.
one? Everyone
Yeah.
dies.
Which one?
The one
It was new.
It was
As something
recent.
about the
They're
world.
like in the
Something about the world,
Midwest,
right?
U.S. something. Like
Ellie, you
frontier
literally just said
frontier
it has
west.
something to do about the world. That's how you describe the plot of a movie.
No, I think the title has the world's worst.
Okay.
Oh.
I was like, that's not helpful to the scenario.
yes. Literally
narrows
the
it
most
down.
vague thing ever. In space or on Earth. can't remember. No, but I know exactly what you're talking about, Lee.
But but like someone
So
gave us such a hard
was-
time where they were like, I can't believe you're not doing a review of like this movie. Like I loved it so much. And I was like, I literally haven't even watched it yet because the only thing I know about it going in is that she gets shot at the end. And I just am not in that place right now. Like I will watch it eventually, sure, but like I'm not
I imagine
ready.
you like sitting on the couch with your partner and just be like, you know what, honey, I'm just not in the mood to watch a gay get killed tonight.
Yeah.
No,
maybe
but, like,
tomorrow.
actually-
Maybe tomorrow. Like, yeah, that's like our 4-year-old loves to do that anytime you like try to get her to do something and she doesn't want to. She's like, maybe tomorrow. Like,
and you're like, okay, so never.
yeah. You're like, do you want to eat like a vegetable tonight? And she's like, maybe tomorrow. So like, that's how I feel about.
Yep, that sounds right. I don't know if both of you know the statistic. So Lee and I also wrote a rom-com musical, and it's a podcast.
I want to watch it.
You should listen to it so you can listen to it.
Okay, it's a podcast. Okay.
It's a podcast musical because that's what we do. But eventually we hope we can get it to on stage. But as we were writing it, we have like very similar views to both of you of like, we don't have enough stories about queer joy, so let's freaking write something that's happy. And there was the statistic from Les Watch TV. They do like this whole database of like every LGBTQ character on TV. And they literally on their website, the percentage of happy endings with those shows is 5%.
Oh my God. That's so dark.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
So that's like the point is like it really is like so important to have this story. Like so unbelievably important because what now it's 6%? Like that's still fucked. Right? Like,
It really is. It really is. Oh God.
so yeah, we feel very strongly about this as well. So
Oh no,
It's a
but
lot.
that's
It's a lot.
also how I felt about when there was reviews about like Happiest Season, where I was just like, no one's allowed to say anything until we have over 500 queer holiday movies.
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we have panned Happiest Season endlessly on this podcast, but that's not the point.
Yeah, so sorry about that, but
I completely
That's not the
understand.
point.
I completely understand. We're allowed to within the queer community.
Yes, but
yes.
but also here's the thing: what does it tell you that it's like we will not do a review yet of whatever end of the world? I feel like you're right. It's something
What
about
are you
that.
talking-
The
Oh my God,
movie
you're
where
still
she gets
talking
shot.
about
It's
it.
something about that, right? Like we
we'll-
haven't done
we'll
an episode
figure
on
it
that
out
yet.
at some
We
point.
did do an episode on
Kirsten,
Happiest
is that
Season
the
just
one
to
that you
drag
watched
it,
that
but
had
like we're
world
still
in it
going to
of the
talk
woman?
about it. The what?
The
What?
one in
Did
the
I
world
watch
one
it?
that you really liked, was that queer?
I would remember. I don't think. What woman in the world? I don't.
Now
this
I'm
doesn't ring
now
any
I'm
bells
now
for me.
I'm
We've
just thinking about
lost it.
movies that have world in the title.
No, they're not talking about the worst person in the world.
Okay,
no,
not that one.
No,
I'm
no,
out of
no.
ideas.
That's
then.
straight.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not
No.
gay, unfortunately.
I can't. I'll never find it. But I think it is cool to see that. I think we are seeing a turning point. I'm like, let's stop talking about the depressing shit. But like, I do feel like we are seeing a turning point in queer rep, which is exciting to see that like you wrote this rom-com and like you had 2 production companies who are interested in it. Or like, I do think that people are seeing that it's important to make these.
Yeah, I mean, I do think we are getting to a stage, but I also feel like, Casey and I really, really wanted this to just fucking kill, not because we get any residuals from streaming or anything like that. We wanted, because you don't, we just wanted it to do so well because we were like, we need more rom-coms like this. Like we need a rom-com centering a trans lead. Like we need rom-coms with more people of color. Like we just need more of all of it. And we felt so much pressure to like do well. So then more people would potentially get the green light and be the thing that they could point to in the room and be like, this did really well. And, it did good. It's just like, it's, I want it to happen.
No, it is
tomorrow.
because there's
Yeah.
like another element to that too of what we're saying. Like, yes, it is important. We know it's important, but that's not the only thing that matters to Hollywood. It's money. So when we're
Yep.
saying like we want it to do well, we want it to do monetarily well because that is what's
Yep.
going to signal to other production companies and other studios and streamers that that's how they're going to make something. But it sucks because it shouldn't be on our shoulders. It should be on everyone's shoulders to do that, you know?
Yeah. And it's like so exciting to see Heartstopper thriving, but it's also centering men. And like, we really want more of that for like, you know, teen girls and, you know, women-centered stories. So it does feel like there's a shift, but it also feels like I've been in so many meetings where people are like, I'll be pitching them an idea I have for a queer story, whatever. And they'll be like, oh my God, that sounds so similar to something we have on our slate right now. And I'm like, oh, really? What? And they're like, it's a story about two men in World War II and they fall in love. And I'm like, that's not what I pitched. That's not what I pitched at all. So that happens still like that. And it's something that like, yeah, we're constantly, it's an uphill battle still, even though like we are seeing a shift in what's out there. It's an uphill battle because you think about how much comes out every month and how much of it is predominantly straight or has like a queer character that then they put in the thumbnail as bait. And then you watch it because you think it's gay. And then you're like, that was 2 seconds.
I do think that one other thing that is changing, which I think is super cool, is what it's like what you were saying before that like anyone under the age of 18 is like, they're probably queer until proven otherwise, right? But that also means that all of these up and coming actors, they're going to have a say in what roles they want to take. And they're probably not going to want just straight roles. They're going to want queer roles. I think of everyone in the cast of Euphoria.
Because like, they're all queer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just like, hopefully it'll be like, you know, if they start asking their reps, like, well, where's this script? And then that gets up to like, you know, producers and be like, this is what we're looking for, you know? So it is like a very collective community thing of coming from all different angles of our gay agenda to make everything queer.
Yes. We are here.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/lezhangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lezhangout.
Let's hang out.
Streaming December 12th on Peacock. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie are back.
That's hot. Loves it.
For a show-stopping reunion that will prove putting on an opera is anything but simple.
We're really good at this.
One thing's for sure, they won't be upstaged.
Good to have you back. Come on, we've got a show to do.
Paris and Nicole, The Encore, a 3-part reunion special, streaming December 12th, only on Peacock.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out Real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
At Radiolab, we love nothing more than nerding out about science, neuroscience, chemistry.
But we do also like to get into other kinds of stories. Stories about policing or
politics,
country music,
hockey,
sex, of bugs.
Regardless of whether we're looking at science or not science, we bring a rigorous curiosity to get you the answers.
And hopefully make you see the world anew.
Radiolab, adventures on the edge of what we think we know.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
The gay agenda. Let's talk a little bit more about like what happens in the movie as well, because we could go on a rant about like overarching rep. No, I honestly will talk all night about it, but I want to talk specifically about the love triangle because I feel like that's also just something like, how often have we gotten a queer love triangle? Like all I can think of on the top of my head is I'm thinking of Imagine Me and You, which is like we always,
but it's always a guy.
We have love triangles
with a guy,
a man.
Yeah,
always.
And
that
even like the half of it, right? Like the half of it has the love triangle with the dude. Like, yeah, it's not an uncommon trope. We don't see a lot of fully queer ones, right?
Yeah, we were scared also when we were pitching this that they were gonna pitch making Gabriella Gabe. Like we were like we were so scared that was going to happen.
A hate crime.
No one suggested it at all. So great on everyone else. But it was just like fear we had for sure. But yeah,
because it is always like, you know, the love triangle is never a fully queer love triangle.
Yeah. But okay, so this is not coming from a place of something personal, but my sister and I are both queer. My sister and I are both in LA, like dating people. We have not been in a love triangle, but I think that's rooted in that would be completely awful.
Wow, you threw that out there like real fast.
Yeah, I do not want to be a part of that. No, my sister and I have a fun thing where if we've like gone on a date with someone, we'll like show each other like who we've gone on a date with. We're not looking for any overlap.
Nice.
Yeah, that's smart. That's
you gotta
probably
do
best.
But
that's a very healthy thing to do with your sister.
Like
actually,
when
I'm not
Casey
kidding.
matched with someone I made out with, and I was like, you have to make out with them
That
too.
is how she phrased it immediately.
Complete opposite.
I think she followed it up by like that.
Wow, so you're saying you have like an open relationship? That's really cool for you.
Yeah, the two of you are very happy.
Like, really
you have a lot
rid
of
of
compersion for each other.
I'm like, go, get out there.
Man, just don't let Natasha Lyonne see you. You're gonna really confuse like, just everything.
She's been rooting for you this whole time. She thinks she's gonna get an invite to the wedding.
She's like, you guys were endgame for me. I don't know what to tell you. In her Natasha Lyonne
So you have not
voice.
been in a love triangle with your sister. That is confirmed.
That's fact. You can,
All right.
But it could happen.
No, Kirsten, don't put that into the ether, okay?
But I think like there's so many interesting. I actually really like what you've been talking about, Kirsten. Of like we're talking about this as a queer film, but it also is a teen girl film, right? So like I do actually really like. I have a sister. She is not queer. But I also feel like there's a lot of really interesting dynamics between the sisters. So you have like people who can relate to like having a sister that they compete with or like always feel like there may be like this underlying tension, but they have that nice moment where it's like, you know, they love each other, which I feel like their whole sister vibe, I feel like will resonate with a lot of people. And then you have like female friendships and like all kinds of other stuff like that. So I just feel like it's a very nuanced movie for teen girls.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we loved, like, I have a sister that I'm really close with too. And, you know, as Casey mentioned, she has a sister. And we loved writing the sister dynamic between AJ and Gabriella. And that scene between AJ and Gabriella when they're fighting is like one of my favorite scenes. And it was one of both of their favorite to perform because it was just, they played off each other so well. And they kind of hit that balancing act super well of like, this is someone you unconditionally love, but also someone that you can be mad at in such a specific way that is so unique to, you know, to having a sibling. So that was really, really fun to write because my sister and I have had like, you know, she's like the only person I've had like a screaming fight with, because it's like that's the only person you feel like you can have that with, and then forgive them, you know, a moment later and be like, do you want to watch Love Island? And it's like, yeah, fine.
I love those TikToks where it's like you're in a screaming match with your sister and 10 minutes later it's like you want to get Starbucks.
Yeah.
But it is that scene like
It's
absolutely
accurate. It's accurate.
blew me away, like seeing it like actually acted out, because it was like Kirsten was saying, it was like it looked exactly like any fight that I've had with my sister. It was so emotional. It was so heartfelt. Like you just really felt it. And it was so wonderful. I think that scene like really took us aback too, because that is the only scene really without Paige in it. So having that was like really special for them.
Well, and I think there's a lot of things like, you know, Ellie, you were just saying like it is still like a teen girl movie, that it's like, I feel like what makes me happy is like, yes, it makes me happy as a queer person to be like, wow, a fun queer rom-com. Like, wouldn't this have been fun to have when I was in high school? And like, what I think makes me happy is that there are so many things that like everybody can relate to, right? Like people can relate to sisters dynamic. People can relate to having your mom embarrassing you. People can relate to like having a best friend, even when I like love that it's normalizing like having a best friend who's a guy, like, which I feel like still a lot of movies are like, you know, tend to lean into the like girls are best friends and like dudes are afterthoughts, and that's why we can say they all should have been gay. But it's just like there's a lot of stuff that like anybody could relate to, and I think that like what I love is knowing that teenagers today, whether they're actually queer or not, like could and will watch this movie and like still find it relatable in a lot of ways, you know, because it's like it is still hard to like, I feel like there's an age distinction between like where people are like, oh, a queer thing, like I'm not going to be able to relate to that at all, you know. That's like really starting to change, where people are just like, oh yes, a story, you know, like just since we were just talking about First Kill, like I feel like that's a similar thing where it's like the amount, no, but I mean seriously, like the amount that First Kill is being streamed is like, listen, I know like there are not enough lesbians on Earth to like do that by themselves, right? Like it's not just us, like other people are watching it, and like that's the thing is like you look at something like Crush, and like when you actually market a movie, right, and like let people know it exists, and like they're gonna watch it and they're gonna enjoy it, and like there's just, for me, like that part of it is so important too, to be like, yes, queer people need this movie, but like also there just need to be movies like this that like everybody can watch, and it's still just a rom-com, just like we all grew up watching every fucking straight rom-com on Earth, like, because it's fine. There's still stuff that you can find to relate to in them, and like that's gonna happen, but it's also gonna normalize a lot of these experiences and like normalize so many of these like topics and things, and like just, I don't know, it just makes me happy. That's all. Did I mention how happy it makes me?
You have not. No,
guys, but a great movie anyways.
But I think one of my favorite things like early on watching was with my straight younger cousin Danielle, who just like, you know, I watched her watch the movie, of course, and it was so great at one point where she was just like, literally she just goes, Paige, don't do it, like about kissing Gabriella, and I'm like, yes, look at this straight girl totally invested in this queer love triangle, because it's a teen movie, and it's just like your feelings are so raw, they're so there, you know.
Yeah, in that realm, I was in a movie group during the pandemic and has a lot of straight men in it, and I showed them the film early on, and you know, I'm just watching like these two straight guys like watch it, and when AJ and Gabriella both put their hand out to Paige when she falls off the fence, like, and then she picks Gabriella's hand, one of them just goes, oh, she was right in front of her. She was right in front of her. And I was like, wow, thank you. Like, I feel seen. I feel supported.
Oh my God. And hey, and
this is what we mean when we say allies. Like,
allies. And if that wasn't for you, then you know a bunch of straight people loved the freaking Coach. Because I know my
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god, yeah, the coach and Megan Mullally. Also, just like to have Megan Mullally in a movie in general,
Incredible.
just like puts it in another level.
Well, I think we feel
Love
so
her.
honored about it too. She's a freaking queer icon in the 90s, and now she is still like she's continuing this legacy. I mean, just like absolutely amazing.
And just a good person. Before she came to set, she emailed the producers and was like, could you please share the names and preferred pronouns for everyone that I'm going to be working with, because I want to like make sure I'm getting that correctly when I'm working with these people. And I was just like,
You're gonna make Ellie cry.
Yes.
It just it made
I love Megan Mullally. Like, I watch Will and Grace so much.
Yes.
Like, I've seen every episode, and then also her on Parks and Rec, like literally, and her on 30 Rock. Like, anytime she's in anything, I just will watch it. So it
she's
makes me
just
happy
as
to know
good
that like
in real
she's
life.
just as good as I think she is. That makes me happy because sometimes you're disappointed.
Yeah, they say don't meet your heroes except for Megan Mullally. That's the quote.
Exactly, yeah.
That's the quote.
That's the quote. We're putting that shit on our Instagram. That is amazing. I know we have only a little bit more time left. Before we wrap up, I want to talk super quickly about like the unrequited love aspect of it, because we haven't dove. I don't know. We haven't gotten into it yet. And I feel like that in and of itself, just starting with that, is like the gayest fucking thing you could ever do. Like, how many of us have been like in a completely like just like obsessed with someone for too long and like no reciprocation? Like, it's too relatable.
I think probably the gayest thing about this for me is that I did have an unrequited love in high school. And now she is on my gay kickball team as a 30-year-old.
Yep.
I support her and her partner. Love them together. But I love that it's full circle. I think that's
amazing.
How many cliches there? Friends with former unrequited
so
loves.
many.
Yeah, and I feel like unrequited love typically in queer relationships is shown in like the unrequited love because I don't know if she's queer way and I don't want, or I have a bunch of like shame and I'm not out. And so like just showing that sometimes it's just really fucking nerve wracking figuring out if people like you or not.
Like you at all, yeah.
Yeah, like you at all, know you exist.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it kind of, we wanted to like add, show some nuance to that trope in a way that was specifically happy queer and not just sad unrequited queer, shame queer. That was a sentence.
I know. I was like,
we were all rooting for you is the important thing.
Shame,
But
queer,
you know what I
unrequited
thought
queer,
you were
but
going to
queer.
say? Of
something more articulate.
No,
than that?
I thought another trope was like it's. I hate these too, where you often find like bi women or queer women as villains and stuff, and so when it's that unrequited love, but they haven't said it's a love, and then they like kill them or stalk them, and I'm like, hey, that's not.
Yeah,
because it's just like you can also just like have a normal crush.
Well, and I think too, like, there's so many layers to that, right? Because there's the unrequited love where she gets to like sort of figure out that like, oh, it actually wasn't what she thought it was. And then like she can very easily be like, okay, like tried that and it clearly wasn't for me. And now I can set this boundary with this person. Like there's so many like, rather than like the unrequited love we see. And like, I think about like a lot of like the high school boys in teenage films who are the creepiest unrequited loves. Right? Where it's like you like sort of lean into that with Paige at the beginning, where it's like she's in slow motion again, and it's like, all right, stop staring, like calm down. Like, but I feel like he did a good job of being like, okay, but like if it's not gonna happen, like then okay, it's not gonna happen. And she's actually like better suited with someone else, and that's the story we get. Rather than like I've been pining over you for so long. I deserve your love.
Right.
Like,
And but not only I deserve it, but I think something else that you just brought up, Ellie, that I love is that it's like, when we talk a lot about what we've gotten so far in queer representation, and it's like, yeah, you have the one queer person and the one like, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, maybe they haven't realized it yet, maybe they're coming out and they're dealing with their shame and they're telling their parents and they're all of their stuff and they were the only two gay people, so you're gonna end up together. But when you have a movie where you have just like a whole slew of gay fish in the sea, that you can tell the story, which I do think, like, honestly, again, it's just so important for like younger queer people to get to see that it's like, hey, actually, maybe the person you've had a crush on forever isn't the right person for you. Like, because there's more than two of you and you don't have to date them. Like, you don't have to date the only other gay that's there. Maybe there's a better person out there who's also gay and you can date that person.
you know
and, like,
what?
that's not a story we get to see all the time.
It isn't, but do you know what story I want now? I also want to know, did you guys have any other experiences in like middle school or high school, like now reflecting on it, where there was a gay guy and a gay girl and they weren't out yet and they dated each other?
Oh, bearded up.
Oh, yeah.
Ellie bearded up so badly.
I bearded. Yeah, so many gay men.
But it's that true. I do love it. It's like, well, we're both queer and it's the only option.
Right, right. Well,
Like,
you
I
won't
really
want to
relate
go
to you. I
past
don't know
first
why.
base.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, I really like just kissing you. Nothing else. Thanks. Great. He's so sweet.
We can both close our eyes and think about someone else while we do this. Hooray.
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
No,
Wait,
but it is. But it's like,
we
but you
have to
don't
wait.
get that. You don't get, like, young teenage queers, high school, like, they just, that's an important thing for them to start internalizing, you know? Is like,
Totally.
there will
You
be
don't
other
have to date the only
options.
queer option.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, we don't need to get into coming out stories, but I'm just curious when everyone came out, like what stage of life they were in. Because Lee was out in high school, so I'm like, this could have been your high school experience, Lee. But like for me, I came out in college. So like I will never have that high school experience. My high school experience was a lot of unrequited, like submerged crushes on my female friends and dating gay men.
Yep, there you go. As one does.
Would have been nice to be watching this movie and like I'm like literally like snuggling with my straight friend on the couch and we're watching the movie and then we're like, wait, is this us?
Yeah, I came out in college but I feel like in high school I was definitely the person that was like, wouldn't it be crazy if we like played the spin the bottle and like everybody has to abide by the rules. Like whoever you get, you get.
Wouldn't that be so wild?
Yeah. So I feel like I was getting there, but didn't truly feel comfortable coming out until college. And then in college I did the thing of let me just find the like one queer person and just go for it and not think about what I like and who I am as a person or what my preferences are and just be like, that you? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm available.
You should have come to Mount Holyoke. We would have had all the gays for you to choose from. You got your horse gays, your rugby gays, your theater gays. Like we had
too many options.
Just so many choices.
No, meanwhile, my dumbass straight up did not even like realize or question my sexuality until 2 weeks after college. And the day I realized it, I came out to like everyone I knew. Because it wasn't I didn't sit with it. It was just like, I was like, oh. And then I was like, okay, this is who I am. But I always talk about just having like a reel of my life of every gay thing I'd ever done, like flash before my eyes. You know, like that's when I realized I had a like unrequited love on this girl on my track team in high school. And it wasn't just like me wanting to be her best friend.
Listen,
You know?
Casey, some people's coming out journey has a dimmer switch, and some people just have the old school model of like the on or off. Like there's just one option.
I was in New York, went over to my best friend's apartment, and I said, hey, do you have like, you're attracted to girls, right? And she goes, no. And then I'm like, okay, I'm queer.
Oh,
Just checking. It is like complicated though, like being bi and queer, because like I had so many moments where I felt like I was making making mental lists of being like, okay, yes, I do like men. Yes, I like girls. Like I didn't have the language to understand like being bi, and you know, and now I have a male partner, and it's still like it's like I feel less a part of the queer community sometimes than I have before. And so it's like this thing that with bisexuality specifically, I feel like ebbs and flows, because when I had a girlfriend, I was like, yeah, I like feel great at Pride. I feel great in all these, you know, all these spaces. So I think like to your point, Casey, about coming out later and it not occurring to you, like when you do have that attraction towards men, you're like, I can kind of like choose this easy route, but then of course you don't feel like a fully realized human being.
And I think that's why there is that delay, because like society puts you in these boxes and you're like, oh, well, I'm in this box. And then you find out, oh, boxes shouldn't exist.
Yeah. Well, and it's also, listen, just to say real quick, while we are highlighting the many strengths of this movie, that like I feel like it is also super important to watch a movie where like she picks the bisexual girl at the end, right? Because like, listen, we all know how the community can be sometimes.
Casey just had a bad experience,
right?
Literally
Like,
went on a date 2 nights ago. I'm a 31-year-old, and this hasn't happened in like 7 years. Went on a date with like a woman who's 32, 33, and she was so biphobic that I literally was like, she went to the bathroom and I was leaving voice messages for people, just like where I was just like, fuck this shit. I like literally had tears in my eyes. I was like, I can't believe this is still happening.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's ridiculous. So let's just another little check mark in the column for like, yeah, like actually it's okay. It's okay. You can date a bisexual person.
Oh my God.
And I always say,
valid
if
choice.
and
you don't have to give a shit about it.
Yeah, and if they're shitty to you, it's not because they're bi, it's because they're shitty.
Yes.
Just like you might have met a shitty person.
The inverse of that is like they didn't break up. They might have not broken up with you because they're into guys too. They might have broken up with you because you're shitty. You know?
Yeah.
Listen, as I'm sure all of us will agree, no lesbian has ever been shitty in history. Okay? So
that's the most upsetting thing.
Just
though.
fact.
You're supposed to be like, we're all on the same team. Be nice.
Yes.
Listen, as we've all learned from the L word, lesbians never make poor choices and are just great people all around.
The L word is the worst. The biphobia and the L word is fucking horrible.
I mean, it is, but also like it, not a stunning example of like the great,
beautiful human beings, just perfect moral
flawless
compasses.
humans.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Oh God! Well, what a great chat! I'm so happy with where all of this.
We
has
really
gone.
got like our trauma out of the end.
Right.
Just
Throw it all out. Throw it all out. Before we go into our Q&A, is there anything else that you want to tell our audience about this movie?
I mean, I think just like we always say, we hope that when people watch it, they feel like they can escape to this school, Miller High, that is accepting, that is positive, that is not like many of the schools in the United States right now. So we hope when you watch it, you feel accepted and included, and like you could maybe attend a high school like this someday. And we hope more start to exist. So
yeah. I think at just the end of the day, I hope that just like people like truly just have a good time watching it and like feel better about things and laugh.
Yeah. Let's go into our Q&A. Are you ready?
Okay.
Here we go.
Q and gay.
Question number 1, and we can just say Casey will answer first, then Kirsten. All right, you ready? Who would you have had a crush on in high school? A, the art gay, B, the sports gay, C, the witch gay, or D, the influencer gay?
Sports gay.
I'm going art gay.
That's what I was like fluctuating in between. But I had to go with what was authentic to me. My crush was on the track team. So there we go.
So the AJ, you would have had a crush on the AJ Campos, who is the artsy sports
Exactly.
gay.
That's the ideal situation.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, that is ideal.
I love it.
And that's a skateboard day too, which also, that's up there for me.
She really wraps up so many things in one. It's incredible. Okay, question 2. We'll switch them for evens and nods. So, Kirsten, you go first on this one. Have you ever been in a love triangle? Yes or no?
No.
Wow. Ellie, make sure you don't edit out that Langford pause.
And I will say no, but let's talk after we stop recording.
Yeah, that's what mine is too.
Okay, great. So it's a no from both
Okay,
of
we're
them.
putting a
For
pin
all
in
the
it.
listeners,
Gotcha.
It's a no.
Gotcha.
Definitely a no. Great. All right, question number 3. What's your favorite king pun piece? A, flipping the bird. B, close to my chest. C, literally dead right now. Or D, getting hammered.
Oh my gosh. I love the close to my chest. I think that's like the cutest thing. It's during the montage too, and it's just like I think it's more impactful too if like if you're rewatching it and you know like who it's coming from and you're like, oh my god, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I was going to say I love Literally Dead right now for the same reason, because it's in that montage and like it's just so cute. That montage is so cute. I rewatch just that montage sometimes when I'm sad. So
I do have to say on rewatch the pun, like knowing the puns, and because it's not like I didn't have a theory the first time going through, but it's like, but then knowing them, like connecting them to what was happening, because like you hadn't made that connection on my first watch, you know, and like they're so fucking cute. I died. Question 4. If you had to raise an egg, would you A, boil it to death, B, drop it, C, shield it from every danger, or D, eat it?
I think I would shield it from every danger. I'm a very, very anxious person. I was dog sitting the other day, and I just kept being like, is she eating grass? Did she eat a rock? Like I had no chill with this dog, so I think I would shield it from every danger.
And I'm like, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna shield it, and I'm gonna be like, listen, it's the only food I have in my house. At first, when we were going through the options, I thought it was drop it. I'm clumsy. I could have dropped it, but then I was like, I am hungry right now.
There you go.
I love how in this scenario you made it the only food you have in your house. You open the fridge, there's one egg.
It's the egg. Well, I feel like that's when you eat your theoretical child, when you have to.
You're like, listen, maybe it's in high school. I don't know how to cook very many
most
things.
People would
like...
never eat their child, but yes, when you have to. You're right. That's the answer.
Should I stop watching Yellow Jackets? Is that what?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
No, never stop watching Yellow Jackets.
Oh,
brilliant show. Brilliant show. It's going to be so good. All right. Question number 5. This is really mine. All right, here we go. Question number 5. What's the longest unrequited crush you've held on to? A month. B, 1 year, C, 5 years, or D, 10 years?
Oh, I think I just am in the 1 year.
Currently, or like
oh no,
historically?
Well, I guess I said
Yeah,
for now it's 1 year. Who knows what my future holds?
Okay.
I think mine would be a month. I'm an Aries. I get bored easy. I'm moving on. I'm finding someone new.
Which is why I thought you might eat the egg, but it was me, the Capricorn, for survival.
Yeah,
I love it. What about you, Lee? I'm like, I know we didn't ask any of the other questions of us, but what about you?
Oh God, I don't feel like I ever had any for that long. Maybe a year. I'm more than a month.
A year is a substantial amount of time.
Well, it's like somewhere in between. Like I definitely had crushes in like middle school and stuff that like lasted more than a month. But like
totally,
I wasn't like a 5-year long like holding the carrying a torch for someone.
And I wanted to know about the egg question as the only parent here.
I honestly would probably have dropped it. I would have dropped
my
it. My
children are still alive. Let me put it that way. Did I abandon them in front of the TV to come start my recording tonight? No one needs to know. It's fine.
Well, they all know now. So
listen, Coco Melon was babysitting. Everyone was fine.
There we go.
Everything's fine. Amazing. Remember, for our listeners out there, you can answer our Q&A questions on our Twitter at Let's Hang Out Pod. Kirsten and Casey, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was so fun.
Oh,
thank you so much.
And thank you for loving Crush.
It's so great. It's so great. Congratulations also on like having it be amazing.
Yeah. Tell all of our listeners where they can find the movie and where they can find the two of you on social media.
Let's say it at the same time. No. You can find it on beautiful Hulu or Disney Plus internationally. And then me, nice. I'm just at Casey Rackham everywhere. Not the everywhere, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm at Kirsten L. King on Instagram, and I'm Kirsten King _ on Twitter because Kirsten King was taken.
How dare they?
And do you have any other projects coming up? We didn't really talk about this. Any other projects coming up that are exciting that you can share with people?
Yeah, so I'm working on a queer period piece that I'm excited about, and I can't say much more about yet. I hate when people say that. I hate when people
But
say that.
they all get murdered.
Legally,
at
you
the end.
cannot. So it's okay. Yeah.
No one's gonna get murdered.
Great.
I promise.
I'm
you
here
that.
for it.
And same boat as Kirsten, but I'm working on a queer time travel movie that I'm very excited about.
Yes, I'm already excited. I'm excited for both
It
of
is
them.
funny though, because I feel like mine isn't like essentially queer. It's just a time travel movie, but someone was like, "Oh, and like, is there a queer character?" And I'm like, "Obviously."
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I love it.
Great.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. We can't wait to see more of what both of you are writing and producing. And thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 well, yeah.
We love hearing from all of you. We love building this community, so we just want to shout out some of our favorite things every episode. And so we're going to end on a fun shout out for season 5 of shouting out one of our listeners, Lana, who messaged us on Twitter in response to a post with some Wilds fan fiction by sending us all of their Wilds fan fiction. And listen, as though I don't ask enough times on this podcast to please send me the fan fiction of that, like, yes, please.
We love it.
Send us
Keep them coming.
Send us all your links and keep them coming. And we have given you so many great prompts, and like, I don't know why more people aren't sending us the finished final products of those, but you know, we'll take what we can get. And we appreciate you a lot. That's all we want to say.
Yes, we do. As always, we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Jess Klaus,
Tanya Ferguson,
Jacqueline Rose Nishino,
Sarah and Julia,
Danny Gunlock Tamora,
Brittany Ray,
Alana Rosen,
Lizette Stye,
Stacy,
Adi Benitez,
Fiona W,
Whitney Lennon,
Jennifer Trujillo,
and our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen,
Leah Hendley,
Liz Chen,
Julia Gonzalez,
and Ashley White. Thank you all so much. We could not make the show without you, and we are so excited to be giving you some new bonus episodes next season.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
You can check out our website at letshangoutpod.com, or you can check out our production company website at dollarbeanproductions.com.
Whatever app you use for podcasts, make sure you subscribe so you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop.
And if you haven't caught up on all of the episodes of The Flame, please make sure you check them out or re-listen to them. You know, they don't go bad. They're still there. And they're available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
If anything, they're better the second time.
I think they are.
They are. We also post videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/letshangoutpod to catch them.
If you want to support the podcast, the first, freest way to do that is to leave us a rating and a review on the Apple Podcasts app. It helps new people find the show.
If you want to support us on our Patreon, you can do that at bit.ly/lespatreon. You get access to patron-only watch parties, our Patreon-only Discord, and starting in season 6, you'll get monthly bonus episodes, which we're going to be calling Lesra Curriculars. Wonder who made that one up.
Just who could guess? If you want to help support our production company making queer podcast musicals, you can support the Patreon for that at bit.ly/dollarbeanpatreon.
And if you want to get some Let's Hang Out merch, you can get that at bit.ly/lesshop. If you want to find us individually, you can find me at Ellie Bridget on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee. And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
All this time that I was waiting and hating that she wasn't mine because I never picked the right girl. I was flying blind, just running in the wrong direction. Couldn't find a girl I'd wanna pay attention to. Oh, because you're so hot that I might love you. If I was TUV, I'd ask to double you because it seems to me there's not enough of you in my life. We can't elope, but you're one in a million. You're fine as hell, but I swear I'm in heaven with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, la la. it's mine. I can't imagine how I could be any happier than knowing you're mine. Won't you say you'll be mine?
Because you're so hot that I might love by you.
If I was TUV, I'd ask to double you.
Because it seems to me there's not enough of you in my life. We can't elope, but you're one in a million.
You're fine as hell, but I swear I'm in heaven with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. La 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 la
Buffet brawlers, glory holes gone wrong, cannibalistic castration cabins, public poopers? These are just a few of the crazy topics you'll hear covered on Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the pettiest podcast around. Whether you need a break from all that murdery true crime stuff, or just enjoy hearing hilarious stories told in a unique way, I got what you need. I'm Leroy Luna, your fearless host/chauffeur. So come hop in my minivan and let's go for a ride. I promise you probably won't be disappointed. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, basically everywhere you consume podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of the month, baby!